Alright, in this video, it's the video Beth Sarim in the Watchtower by Carthage 397. Okay, I'm going to put the link in my more info section. We're discussing, Paradiseregain and I, the sale of the property in Kensington Heights, San Diego County, San Diego, California. Robert J. Martin, a single and unmarried person of 117 Adams Street, Brooklyn, New York, for in consideration of the sum of $10, does hereby grant, bargain, and sell unto Joseph F. Rutherford of 124 Columbia Heights, Brooklyn, all the real property situated in Kensington Heights, County of San Diego, State of California. So we see here in this particular video, I'm going to put a link in this particular PDF file. I'm going to put the link in the more info section. We see that the Watchtower Society bought Beth Sarim property for $10. Well, Paradiseregain says to me, propaganda techniques. It's interesting that it was sold it for $10. The one who sold it to him was obviously a believer and was willing to have it go for that price. That the ideas of Rutherford didn't come to fruition about the ones who were going to be resurrected is as it is. I think the Watchtower Society, I think the society benefited, and if there was any problem with that, then the vendor would have spoken out, and for sure, and would have demanded it back, but nothing happened, did it? $10, and do with it what you will. Well then, I stated to Paradiseregain, if you choose to believe it sold for $10, please keep one thing in mind. People falsely state what they sell things for every day. Do you know why? So they will not have to pay income tax and sales tax on the sale. If you want to believe this person sold it for $10 to Rutherford, then so be it. Rutherford and his cronies already proved their dishonesty many times over. Lying on income and sales tax statements would not be beyond the scope of his moral compass. Well, now then Paradiseregain states, oh, so it's now that he didn't buy it for $10. Haha, oh boy, whatever. Well, let's see. When were the religious exemptions for income taxes instituted? He may not have had to pay tax anyway. Do your research. Now there's a good boy, and see if you can make anything stick. I doubt it. As stated before, mere conjecture and now assumptions reign. Alright, Paradiseregain. Almost called you propaganda techniques. Paradiseregain. The deceitful behavior on the part of the one selling the property would be to sell it for $10, sell it for $500,000, and then claim that the sale was for $10, so that this person, Martin, okay, it's Robert J. Martin, wouldn't have to pay sales tax on the sale to Rutherford, and he wouldn't have to pay income tax on the money coming in. You understand? At least in real estate, income tax. If he sells it for $500,000, he'd have to pay income tax to the IRS and to the government for income tax coming in for that sale. So it has nothing to do with Rutherford himself and any religious tax exemption. The person selling it to Rutherford wasn't a church. It was an individual, a single individual, as it states right in this website I'm going to put in the more info section. So that's where the deception may have occurred. And I'm stating that to show it wouldn't be unrealistic to believe that this person, Martin, sold it to Rutherford for a lot more with the monies coming from the Jehovah's Witnesses, donations, and then put down on paper that it was sold for $10 so Mr. Martin wouldn't have to pay taxes on that sale. Do you understand? So it's not Rutherford paying taxes, it's Mr. Martin paying taxes on the sale. That's what I was referring to. And could I perceive Rutherford going along with that? Well, absolutely. Here he is telling the people that he's buying it because of his lung, right? And then turns around and no, that's not why. He was buying it to spend the rest of his life in it. That's what the reason was. Supposedly, was it his lung or was it Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's return? Which was the reason this house was being purchased? Another thing to keep in mind is that the house itself was built with money. Where did that money come from to build the house on the property that was allegedly sold for $10? Now, I wanted to make this video before I even read this reply today, but since I'm reading your reply, I figured I would encompass everything into it so you get a full understanding of where the deception, I believe, occurred. I believe Mr. Martin sold the property to Rutherford for the going rate of property in San Diego, California at the time. They fudged the papers to say it sold for $10, and then Rutherford went on to use money from the Watchtower Society donations to build the house on that property. And there was deception in telling people it was to house Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when in this deed right... Okay, my video was cut off. The battery died on my camera, so I'm on the webcam. But this is the publication I'm going to be reading from, Proclaimers of God's Kingdom. And notice on page 76 of this Jehovah's Witness release, it states, Brother Rutherford had a severe case of pneumonia after his release from unjust imprisonment in 1919. Thereafter, he had only one good lung. In the 1920s, under doctor's treatment, he went to San Diego, California, and the doctor urged him to spend as much time as possible there. So, Rutherford was given instructions from a doctor to spend as much time as possible in San Diego, California. He then purchases this piece of land supposedly for $10. Then he builds this mansion with funds that nobody seems to know where from. Jehovah's Witnesses deny it was their funds. So he builds this mansion. He has this one lung. And then they tell the members that it was for returning princes. So was it for returning princes, or was it for Rutherford and his one lung? When you see these types of things being presented to you, it's not hard to fathom that Rutherford purchased this land for more than $10 and that the tax records were fudged, so the one selling the land, in this case would be Martin, would not have to pay high taxes on $10 sale, and also wouldn't have to report a large amount of income tax for this large sale. So this is what you have. You have Jehovah's Witnesses donating all this money, thinking their money's going to all this charitable work, and yet it's going to mansions such as this. It's going to a defense fund for children that are being molested within the congregations. The Watchtower Society has to fight these charges by paying out-of-court settlements and then issuing gag orders so nobody talks about it. And Jehovah's Witnesses pay into this through their contributions and don't seem to have a conscience when they do that. They don't think, that it doesn't click in their heads what they're actually supporting. Anyway, Paradiseregain, keep up the good work. You know, I don't mind the interaction with you here, and if you make some mistakes, that's fine. I'm here to dispel them for you, hopefully to get you thinking clearly. Anyway, ciao.